It is Saturday. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. It is Saturday. You've made it to Coffee Talk. How are you? Hope you're doing great. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. It is July the 2nd. I'm meteorologist Eric Burris. This is where we get together 7 days a week. We chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully get your day started off on the right note. Hopefully get you informed, all that fun stuff. There are a couple of pretty big things oh, for goodness sake, There are a couple of pretty big things that we are monitoring in the world of weather. First and foremost, we are previewing your holiday weekend forecast. That is number one. Number two, we are tracking the tropics and a newly formed tropical system over the coastline of South Carolina. Yeah, but before we get to all that, let's just set the stage and see what's doing on our tower cam shot here in downtown Orlando. We are looking mighty fine out there, downtown Orlando. You are looking beautiful, and I think that we're going to continue to look beautiful over the course of the next few hours' time. Then it does get, it gets questionable. Let's look at some of our other shots. There's downtown Orlando from a distance. Let me come into Lake Eola. Yeah, beautiful. Tourist district, a little hazy, not too bad. Let's head to Brevard County, Melbourne, you're looking good. Cocoa, you're looking good. Kennedy Space Center, looking great. Old Glory in the breeze. We've been watching the Artemis rocket, the SLS, on its way back in from Launch Complex 39B. They are going to be doing a little work on it, getting it ready, and then from there, it's up to the moon. Not Dogecoin we're talking about to the moon, we're talking about a rocket. Temperature-wise, we are in the mid to upper range of the 70s. We are looking good, though, through the day, at least through about lunchtime. First warning, live Doppler radar showing just a few showers here over the Big Bend, Crystal River, Cedar Key area, watching these showers kind of bubbling up. The good news is they are not playing in big to our overall forecast this morning. So where does our forecast then go? Let's just take a look. Temperature-wise, we are in the lower 80s, mid-80s by 11 o'clock, upper 80s by 1 p.m. And then we start to get into showers and thunder showers through the afternoon. 20, 30, 40, 50% coverage of rain. We're going to continue to see the rains kind of build through time. Yeah, 70% coverage of showers and thunder showers. It is going to be widespread rains across central Florida. Again today, like yesterday, Futurecast is going fairly, if I'm honest, Futurecast is going fairly bonkers in terms of the rainfall. Let's take a look at it, shall we? By about 9, 10, 11 o'clock, we're still good. I'll just bring this full screen for you. We're still good, though we're starting to see little pops of green showing up. There's noon, starting to see little pops of green. Daniel says, cousin to Apollo. Isn't it cool? I love it. I really do. I'm so fascinated with space. I love it. All right, so lunchtime is kind of your line, friends. After lunchtime, all bets are off in terms of getting good weather, so plan accordingly, right? 1, 2 o'clock, look how that Futurecast is getting more and more active, right? 3, 4 o'clock, continuing with widespread showers and storms. There's 5 o'clock. Plenty of stormy weather. 6 o'clock, plenty of stormy weather. 7 o'clock, kind of starting to taper off just a little bit. And then by about 8, 9 o'clock, you can kind of see from there, kind of gradually tapering things off. So again, I would just say that in terms of that forecast pattern, we are looking pretty stormy. Mike, good morning to you. Cheryl, good morning. Marie, good morning. Janice, summertime and afternoon rains go together in Florida. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. So just plan, because, you know, as we talk about a holiday forecast, right? Oh, this is the one I want. Sorry, wrong one. As we talk about a forecast these next couple of days, I just want you to know we're talking about plenty of showers and storms. It is what it is, right? We're just going to have to deal with it. 70% coverage of rain today, 70% coverage of rain tomorrow, 60% coverage of rain for Independence Day itself. And it does look like, at least for the fireworks activities, that we are going to be a little bit better. Saturday, Sunday, the storms are just focused right over top of the metro. But by Monday, we're going to push everything over toward the west coast. So that does look at least a little bit better for us. For our friends in Tampa, Lando Lake, Cedar Key, Crystal River, not as good, unfortunately. Sorry to say. Susan says, good morning from Hilton Head, South Carolina. We had some of the beginnings of Colin yesterday, but no worse than a typical summer storm. Enjoy the weekend and stay safe. Yes, Colin. Definitely need to talk about Colin. Yeah. But before we do, I want to continue our local forecast discussion just a little bit because, of course, with the holiday weekend, oh, that's the one I'm looking for. With the holiday weekend, there's more than just today's forecast. Let's look at tomorrow. Hold on. Oh, you are a putz, aren't you? All right. This is what I'm trying to show you. So here's lunchtime tomorrow. The computer just wasn't cooperating. So let's take a look at Futurecast for tomorrow and then on Monday as well, just so that we can all be on the same page. For your Sunday, my friends, here we go. Lunchtime, a couple of popcorn showers out east, bubbling up 3, 4 o'clock, and then boom goes the dynamite. 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock for your Sunday. Big showers and thunder showers across the peninsula's midsection. Then Monday, Independence Day itself, morning looking good, lunchtime looking good, right? But by about 2, 3 o'clock, we're getting those showers, thunder showers popping. There's 6 o'clock. Notice the big collision of sea breezes is a little further west on Monday. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Then by 8 o'clock, continuing to look better for us through sunset. 9 o'clock, sun setting. Looking good for us, though our friends on the West Coast not as good. And then, of course, through 10, 11 o'clock, that's kind of clearing out. So again, before we get to the tropics, let's just illustrate this. Today and tomorrow, big storms across the midsection. But looking ahead to Monday, it starts to focus over on the West Coast. All right. Let's get some of these comments here. Looks like Marion County not getting as much. Yvette, I would say definitely looking ahead to Monday, you're going to be getting into more storms. John, good morning to you. Got to play by the rules, right? Beverly says, thank you. Had a dry shopping trip yesterday. Then it broke loose. Well, and that's that's why I'm saying, like, lunchtime on, you're taking the weather into your own hands. You know? Joanne, good morning. Rain has hit everywhere but Kissimmee, Jennifer says. I mean, that's definitely the struggle in our kind of current weather pattern, right? Yep. Brian says, my dogs hate thunderstorms, but they will appreciate the evening rain if it keeps the fireworks down. Well, see, that's the thing, but do they even realize it, you know? All right, to the tropics we go. You ready? Here's a look. Satellite imagery for Tropical Storm Colin. This thing formed at 5 o'clock this morning, right along the coastline of the Carolinas. Now, radar imagery is showing a fairly asymmetrical storm. It's not all that well organized, but it is bringing some squally weather to our friends here across the Carolinas. Maximum sustained winds for Tropical Storm Colin are running 40 miles an hour in those feeder bands. All right, it is about to cross over to North Carolina. Maximum sustained winds only in the feeder bands. I mean, it's probably gusty at the beaches. I wish I had a camera I could show you. But at any rate, moving into the Outer Banks today, there are tropical storm warnings posted because tropical storm conditions there are expected. The forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center, give me a second to pull it up. The forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center does bring the storm system along the mid-Atlantic coast and then eventually moves it out to sea. All right, it's not expected to get stronger or anything like that. But it is something certainly that we should watch. This is now the third named storm in the Atlantic Basin. All right, we take a look at the other named storm that we are following right now, and we reintroduce ourselves to Tropical Storm Bonnie. Yeah, there's Bonnie, about to move off the shoreline of Central America. Here's the forecast cone for Tropical Storm Bonnie. Not only does it not change names because it successfully crossed Central America without losing its tropical characteristics. But the expectation is this thing gets even stronger in the Pacific Basin, expected to become a Category 1 hurricane by Tuesday early morning. Interesting, right? Yeah. By Tuesday morning, expected to become a Category 1 hurricane. We'll keep the name Bonnie. Now, I don't remember, did the Pacific... data, I'm trying to see, I'm just trying to see if the B-named storm in the Pacific was a hurricane this year. That would be interesting if you had two B-named hurricanes in the same basin. I just don't have that. I just don't have the data. So I don't know. Anyway, that's Bonnie. Elsewhere in the tropics, thankfully, we are nice and quiet. Let me dial up the models. Stand by. Stand by. All right, this is the GFS. We'll just take a look. All right, here's the raw GFS model. You've got, there is a little wave. There is a, let me dial that up. Stand by one, Houston. Stand by, stand by, stand by, stand by. Ba, 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 ba. Come on. All right, before we get to the model data, here's the wide shot. There is this little wave here bubbling up some decent convection. Before we get too in-depth, right? Before we get too in-depth, there's only a 10% chance of that developing there in the Caribbean. But I do want to point it out because you're going to see on the computer models here, you're going to see it there, right? So you've got in the Caribbean, kind of a little area of greens and blues. That's that spot. Not expected to develop. Let's just kind of follow. This is the 6Z. We looked at the 0Z model on our 6 a.m. tracking the tropics. That's July 6th. Little storm system coming off the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Couple little storm systems like right there in the mid-Atlantic, and you can kind of see coming off the Canadian Maritimes. But a whole lot of nothing. There's some lowering pressure over Florida around the 14th. Some lowering pressure around the 16th. Doesn't look like anything's going to want to get developing there, but that's definitely going to be a spot and kind of an area to watch. That's the 16th. 17th, lots of high pressure. 18th, yeah, and that's as far out as the GFS goes. Let's switch over and let's look at the European model. Just make sure that everything's in comparison. There's that little Caribbean feature. Fades out, yeah. I don't see anything. I mean, nothing of note. Now that there, the around the 11th, kind of coming off of the northeast United States, you see that? Like right there, that's July 9th. You see that storm system there around July 9th? I want to point out that on our long-range forecast, that'd be a little late, but we are running a little behind, theoretically. So watching the northeast, 6th, 7th, and if you look around this is the 9th, storm system firing up off the coastline. Yeah. One other thing to note, by the way, since we're talking about the LRC, if you look, where is it? The October 9th storm system. So it's running a little late, but if you look at the LRC, I put late June, we're in early July, but if you look at late June, the October 9th storm system, right there. So we're a little late. But John says Pacific Storm Blast was a Cat 1. Thank you, John. See, I need you in my life, right? Any feel for Florida East Coast on the 8th? There are a couple of folks in the group going offshore fishing for snapper out of Ponce Inlet. Out of the 8, I think it's going to be fine. I mean, kind of normal weather it looks like at that point. So the October 9th storm system seemingly is this storm system impacting the Carolinas hotspot. It's running a little bit behind, but it's definitely there. If you look at the previous version, this was October 9th, and it's so interesting. You can see that storm system almost in the identical spot. That was October 9th. Isn't it wild? Isn't it wild how this plays out? Here's a look at December 10th. It was a much quieter system, but you can definitely see there's a little swirl, just a little swirl there. But yeah, October 9th. And what's so interesting is it was almost this identical path. That October 7th through 9th storm system kind of formed off of Florida and then lifted to the north. And if we were to look at, this week, there was a little storm system that went by our east coast and lifted up into the Carolinas. So yeah, I mean, it definitely fits. It was a little later than we thought, but yeah, it's recycled in nicely. We had it kind of colored in. If we looked at the June calendar, we had it about a week early. So this one was running a little bit behind, but nevertheless, it was there. It was there. So it fits into our hotspot. I will tell you that because this fits into our hotspot and this developed, I would go so far as to say late August, early September, my friends, the Mid-Atlantic really is going to need to watch. Late August, early September, when this recycles again, yeah, I'd be willing to bet that we will have something for them to watch, right? For July, we have to watch the Florester recycle, the 20th, 21st. That's the November 6th part of the pattern. November 6th part of the pattern shows up as a Florida hotspot. And we've got late July highlighted, people. So tropically, it's definitely going to be something to watch. We'll see how it all plays out. All right. Back here at home, we're just watching those showers and storms. Today, tomorrow, healthy shower and thunderstorm chances. High temperatures in the lower 90s, 70% coverage of rain. Then we kind of taper things off little bit by little bit. In terms of the tropics, it looks like we're going to be quiet for just a little bit at least, which is good. Taylor, when you go back local, can you check rainfall for Daytona yesterday? We finally got a bunch. Yeah. Stand by. Give me 2 seconds to find the darn thing. MCO, what is that? That's almanac. Stand by. MCO, Melbourne, Sanford. Here. Daytona Beach, you got a whopping 0.2 of an inch of rain. 0.2 of an inch of rain yesterday. At least it was something. When you look at the month as a whole, we're already behind. Let's look, by the way, while we're talking about it, let's just look at Orlando. How much rain did we get yesterday in Orlando? 3/100ths of an inch. So we are now about a quarter or so behind. Below normal indeed. Let's look at the year to date. Just since we're talking about rain numbers. Leesburg is the only one with a rain surplus for the year. We've been such a deficit, I'm curious how much we got. Yeah, Taylor, not a bunch. Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it. You don't use the red triangle for other areas. No, I only use the red triangle when I think that the pattern should yield, that the confidence of the pattern should yield a little bit more. And I'm trying it this year, and I don't know that I'm quite there yet appropriately, Chris, when it comes to the long-range forecasting. I don't know that it adds much. We may not do that next year. It's just learning the parameters. Joanne, it's funny. First off, congratulations. You're starting your journey. That's amazing. I was just talking to a neighbor of mine who's looking at doing it. And Joanne, if I could be any help to you, I would be honored. Anybody that is looking to go through that, as long as you know it is not a walk in the park, but it is so dang worth it if you can commit to it. I have loved, I did the chocolate up to my surgery and just after my surgery. And it has made me almost to the point where I can't drink it. It's like, it causes me to just get sick to my stomach. So I have had 2 of these cafe lattes a day for over a year. I pay full price for well, I pay Costco price, so whatever that is. But I love the cafe latte. I love this. This is my breakfast in the morning, one of them, and it's my afternoon treat. I love it. I can't say enough about it. So cafe latte, Costco has a great selection of them, by the way. Good luck, Joanne. What a journey that you're taking for yourself. I'm so proud of you for that. I pushed it off and pushed it off for so long because I thought it was cheating. And at the end of the day, if cheating was hard, then it wouldn't be called cheating, would it? So it's not cheating. It's hard. It's hard. Jamie, how is it? Oh my God, it's the coolest thing. I love it. I love it. Saving money, just great. Just great. Love it. Taylor, it felt like I was out driving and there was mild flooding in areas. Well, and that's the thing, though. That's Daytona Beach International Airport at the weather station. Who's to say that there are other spots that didn't get much more rain, right? Root beer float and peanut butter chocolate are delish. Oh, the Premier Protein Shake. Gotcha. Mary Lee says it was a godsend for me. I'll tell you, as I was telling my neighbor, I think that it added years to my life. I really do. And his concern was, how does it make you feel? How are you feeling? And it's like, I feel great compared to the way I used to feel. I mean, I'm tired, but all in all, infinitely better. All right, while we're talking, yentering it up, any questions about anything we discussed? Anything? Any questions at all about anything? I do have concern for our friends that are doing fireworks displays tonight, as we've discussed. There are showers and there are thunder showers in that forecast. Joanne says it's going to be a big life change, but worth it. We'll get my date after August 24th. I'll be here to help however I can and encourage however I can. Yeah, it's going to be a big life change, and it's not one you can ever go back to. Listen, I love pasta, and now I get like one little bite of it. I love bread, and now I get one teeny tiny little cracker of it. Yeah, just a little bit. Taylor says you're tired. You have work and have kids. I know. And speaking of which, Eric, poor thing, has had a fever the last couple of days, and it's not going away. So my forecast includes another visit to the doctor today. Poor guy. You know what's crazy, too? He has been more hyper, and we had him to the doctor already, thankfully. Knock on wood, he tested negative for all for flu, COVID, and for strep. But he's got some sort of a bug, poor guy. So just have to work through that. Ann says 100 pounds lost after my surgery and I wouldn't change a thing. Dang straight. I love it. I am down. Stand by. I am down 134 pounds. Yeah, girl. Yes. Give or take. I mean, give or take. Like I've logged 151.4 pounds as my weight, but I was 149 yesterday. It just, give or take, 130-ish pounds. Wow. 130-ish pounds. All right? All right, anyway, enough about me, enough about you. I got to go do TV, otherwise I'm going to get yelled at. Christina says hello. Cynthia says hello. Tony, when you hired, how many times did he call you Cynthia? Twice. He called her Cynthia on the air twice. Granted, I called Brett Connolly Brad on air for over a year, on purpose, just to see if the boss has ever noticed. Well, there's a whole inside story to that, but we could talk about that later. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for, if the bosses are watching, I didn't do that. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. I'm going to go make some TV.